So let's talk about bank accounts. I over the course of the past 10 years, I've opened up a number of different accounts, both banking accounts and investment accounts and savings accounts, and so the list goes on and on. I have a lot of accounts, and I'm genuinely asking myself, like, what's the point of all these? And honestly, there really isn't a reason to have you know 10 accounts between your checking accounts and savings accounts and investment accounts. A lot of the accounts that I have, I've accumulated just because of trying out different brokerages for investments and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I have so many accounts. But I wanted to take a question and make a video out of it. And that question is, how many bank accounts should you have? And when I say bank accounts, I mean checking, savings, and investment accounts. And I really thought about this, and honestly, I think you only need three. I think you need one of each: a checking account, a savings account, and an investment account. So, what are each of these used for? The checking account is your normal operating account, right? That's the account that you get paid in when you get paid every 2 weeks or twice a month or whatever you get paid. The money goes into the checking account. And then you have to take care of your bills, right? So if you pay rent and you pay utilities and food and insurance and subscriptions and spending money, going out, all that kind of stuff, the money comes out of that account. So that's basically your checking account, right? It's your operating account. Money comes into it and money goes out of it. Now, you also have, or should have, I should say, a savings account. What is the savings account for? Well, it depends. It can be used for a number of different things. If you're saving up for a goal, like buying a house or buying a car, you can put the money in the savings account. But also, and more importantly, your savings account should be used as your emergency fund. Now, how much should go into your savings account for an emergency fund? Well, it depends, right? It depends on a couple different things. It depends on your risk tolerance and how much sort of comfort you want when it comes to money. Now, a lot of people recommend 6 months worth of expenses to be your emergency fund. So let's say it costs you $3,000 every month to live between rent, utilities, food. Like, I'm talking the basics, right? Not going out and partying or buying video games or any of that. I'm just talking about the basic necessities of living and functioning in society. Let's say it costs you $3,000 a month to do that. You multiply that by six, that's $18,000. So in order to have a 6 month emergency fund, you should have $18,000 in your savings. That way, God forbid something happens, you lose a job or your car breaks down or whatever the case may be, you have money set aside that you'll be safe for 6 months until you find a new job or, fix your car and save up some extra money to replace that. So it just gives you a little bit of time, right? It buys you time. That's what money is doing for you there. It's buying you time. So that's the bare minimum, according to a lot of people. Me personally, I tend to lean towards a more safer threshold. I don't necessarily think 6 months is enough for me personally. So I have, over a year's worth of expenses saved just in a savings account. And I say that to show you that not everyone is the same. I feel that if I were to lose my job, I would want to have at least a year's worth of savings set aside because you never know what can happen, right? And the other thing to mention is I've talked about this on my channel plenty of times. I moved out of my parents' house earlier on this year, and I literally quit my job and moved to an entirely different state and different city, and I did not have a job. But I got my own place. I started to have legitimate expenses. So I wanted to have a nice savings for myself in case I had trouble finding a job or, figuring things out on my own. It was a huge risk and probably not the smartest decision financially, but I knew it was time for me to like do something new, get out, get a fresh start. And honestly, things are going I would say pretty well. I mean, you know, things could be better. I'm not necessarily in love with my job, but overall, I'm happy with my decision to move out and get a fresh start and be on my own. And I really don't regret it. So I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I'm doing it. And again, if I didn't have that emergency fund, that large savings buffer, I wouldn't have been comfortable enough to do this. So that was a big factor as well. But back to sort of the video and what we're talking about here. So the savings account really is meant to be used as a buffer to buy you time in case something bad happens, to take care of unexpected expenses, or to save towards a goal, right? A house, a car, whatever it is you're saving towards, paying for school, whatever it is. So that's account number two. First account is a checking account. That's your operating account. Money comes in, money goes out, income and expenses, right? Savings account for goals and emergencies. Now, the third and final account is your investment account. I cannot stress how important I believe investing is to your personal finances. The sooner you learn how to invest, the better off you're going to be down the road, right? And I could get so deep into the rabbit hole of types of investments, type of investment accounts, what to invest in, what to start transitioning your money into as you kind of progress through your working years to be on the safer side of investments. I mean, I'll probably end up making a video about all these different things at some point or another. But for now, I want to take like the really big picture idea of investing. We work way too fucking hard for our money to just go and spend it on shit, right? Like if you can put your money to work after you obtain it, you're going to be so much better off. It's like having a little worker go out for you every single day. Every dollar that you invest is like sending out a tiny little worker to go out and collect a penny, say, or something along those lines, right? Like you send $1 out and it brings you a penny. Okay, great. What are you going to do with a penny? But when you start investing thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, that can make a massive difference, like life changing. And the sooner you start, the sooner you will, number one, learn more on how to invest, to be smarter about it. But also, the sooner you'll actually start making money, and it'll be a substantial difference in your financial situation. So I can't stress this enough. I think if you're going to take anything away from this video, if you are not familiar with investing, specifically in stocks and ETFs and exchange traded funds and mutual funds, I think you should really take the time to learn about it, because the benefit of understanding how to invest is absolutely astronomical. Like seriously, it's life changing. Poor people do not invest. They spend. That's all they do. They make money and then they spend it. Rich people make money, invest, and then they spend money. That's the difference right there. Poor people just make money and then they spend it. Wealthy people, they make money, they invest it, and then they use the money they make off their investments to spend on things, to take care of their bills, to buy food, all that kind of stuff. So please, if there's one thing you're going to take away from this video, learn how to invest. And this is going to be a life-changing lesson for you to learn, I guess we can say. So that's my thoughts on bank accounts. First account is your checking account. It's your operating account. You spend money, you make money. It all goes through that account. The second account is that savings account we discussed for goals as well as for emergencies. And finally, and most importantly, is your investment account. Learn how to invest, people. It's incredibly important, and it'll change your life. That's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Just kind of wanted to talk about what I think is the basics and the minimum when it comes to bank accounts, what I think you should have. I hope this helps you guys out. If you have any kind of questions or thoughts, feel free to drop it down in the comments below. If you're new here, I post all kinds of content, a lot about personal finance, but also about just life experiences and anything I really feel like talking about. I just talk about it and throw it over some gameplay. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So thanks again for checking in, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.